Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, everyone. Our topic for today is how to communicate the value of your product or service.
And that was Anna Steinfest, and I'm Michael Troyer, and we're here to offer you some tips and tools to help you in your business and help you survive in that business. And this is an important topic, Anna.
Very important, because what we noticed recently is a lot of businesses, very successful businesses, they cannot communicate the value of the product or service they provide to their consumers.
And we recently did a podcast where we ended it by saying you need to know your customers. And so here we are saying, do you know what your customers are buying? And do you know why they're buying it? Have you asked them so that you can realize perhaps that you aren't explaining the value of your product to anyone or your service?
Michael, I'm going to repeat this for our listeners, because I think that it is extremely important. Again, the two questions you have to answer is, what are your customers buying? Number one. And number two is, why are they buying it?
Mm-hmm. The first one suggests to me that you're seeking to understand the need of the customer for the product that you're offering them, something they could buy. So you need to know what problem the customer is solving, or what job they're trying to complete. So why are your customers buying a product at all, let alone your product, is a very important question. And you need to go out and ask to learn that. That's important, because that's going to make you able to then talk about, well, my product brings you more value in doing that than your other choices. And then you need to ask that second question.
Why are they buying it?
Mm-hmm. What's the trigger that made them think your product was something better, or your service, than another choice they had?
And when after that, when you figure out these two questions, you have to try communicating. And when you communicate to your customers, make sure that you're authentic and passionate. Because if you don't communicate this with authenticity and passion, guess what? Even if they hear you that this is what your product, this is what they're buying, and then why, like they should buy it, they will not buy it, because they will see through you being fake. They will see, and they will not feel your passion.
Think about it. Just think about it for a moment. And I can come at you and say blah 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 blah. A lot of passion in my voice, but it's not real passion, and you're not hearing it. It's the blah blah blah, because I'm not really sharing with you why I care about this product and why I think it might help you meet your needs. So we're really talking about reaching into their heart a little bit, if you will, by building a relationship. And not doing the blah, 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 which everybody turns off on. So how do you get past the quantity of communication we get about products, get past the blah, 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 to something authentic, real, and a bit of passion, showing that you really believe this thing can help them?
Because the reality is that consumers, they buy, or I buy even, I buy because my heart tells me to buy it. And then I start justifying it through my head every single time I go to the shoe department. I always will buy it with my heart, and then I will try finding out, justifying, I just really need these red shoes or blue shoes because I have this suit. I don't have matching shoes, and they will go very well. So think about that. That's what we're trying just to tell you, is be passionate and authentic, because consumers are purchasing with their hearts and they're justifying it with their brains or with their heads.
I love to do woodworking, and there's a tool out there I really want. Why? Because it's gorgeous looking for a woodworker. It's got brass on it, and it's just sharp looking. It also does an extraordinarily good job. That's my technical explanation. That's my head saying I need that it's a box plane. Oh, but it's also gorgeous looking. It's just sitting on the wall in my shop. It would look good. So now I'm back to what Anna is saying. My heart is leading me to buy it, and then I'll justify it with my head. Don't forget, by the way, that the customer needs to hear your heart, helping their heart understand why your product then has value to them. And it's not just fluff value, it's real value.
And Michael, I know that we hear a lot of times, some of the products or services some of you offer are that, you need additional education because the consumers, they don't know how to use it, or they don't know that they need it and things like that. But again, think about, to change people's head, you have to change people's hearts. That's it.
And think now where that leads you, because I think this is very important. You don't just go out and sell something. You have to have a conversation. Now, I don't know how you do that in the grocery store, I admit, with the product up on the shelf that you might buy a box food or something. But the smart sellers are having even there a conversation with you on that box cover. And some of it I know is false, and I don't care. And I buy or don't buy based on the writing on the box. I know that if you put the word new on something, it helps to sell it. But frankly, ultimately, you have to have a conversation with the people to whom you're selling to find out what their needs are. And I like one-on-one selling. Anna and I do that because we're in consulting. That's when it's really important to have that sense of what their needs are, and then to respond to that in an authentic, I want to help you kind of way. That comes across.
And build up a story.
Yeah.
If you can build up a story, that always helps. I mean, think about even Hollywood and their movies, stories, they sell. So when you're communicating again the value of your product or service, try to create a narrative that is bringing the people along and bringing them to this journey. You just kind of embrace them and getting them with the same journey you're on, and that will help them understand how this will benefit them.
And we both work a lot with small business owners. Think about a small business owner explaining to us a challenge they've had, and we can say, boy, I experienced that. 2 years ago, this is what happened to me. I don't want to get very deeply into that. The point is, they're hearing that I know where they've been or where they are right now. I'm identifying with them. That's part of that narrative, is the fact that they're seeing that we know and have experienced what they are struggling with right now. That's going to build that relationship. That's not selling, that's building a relationship. The sale will come of its own self once that relationship is there. Now we're back to the heart again, and that story narrative that helps to bring us together as two individuals. I'm selling, they're buying, but it's not this hard sell thing. It's building that relationship.
And sometimes it is funny to hear some business owners. I mean, it's not funny because I know we're doing it all the time, but we're spitting just technical jargon, exactly. Just, this is what you can do and blah, blah, blah. It just kind of talking technically, and we're overwhelming the listeners and the listeners are your consumers. They gave up and they just switch off in their head. Even if they nod politely and smile, yes, they will not purchase. You will not push them to get out their wallet and purchase your service or your product. That's it. Don't spit technicalities to them. Just engage their heart and tell them a story.
You and I bet could name right now 4 or 5 people we know who are on the opposite side of this. There's a hard sell, come right at your face, overwhelm you with everything. And maybe to get them out the door, you buy one small piece from them, but that's it. You're not going to let them back in the door the next time. So do the narrative, do the heart, know your customer, all those elements, and know the value of your product or service and how it's going to help them.
And answer the 2 questions. What are the customers buying and why they're buying it? And we will have another episode talking about FAB, features, advantages, and benefits, because these two questions are correlated to how to sell via features, advantages, and benefits. We don't want to scare you. It's very easy. We'll teach you, but just to let you know again, two questions: what are they buying and why they're buying it? Thank you, everyone. We hope that we helped your small business with 1 or 2 tips today. We will be back next week with another topic or idea for your business to make sure that it grows stronger every day.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.